So we're coming really close to an anniversary of an event that has changed mine and the life of my family forever. I'm talking about the war in Ukraine. So if you're not familiar with me, I'm a Ukrainian who lives in Canada for 9 months already. And we have a pretty big family, like 4 kids, dog, and that's pretty much, again, I have to say that and repeat it once again, that it is the reason why I was able to officially leave Ukraine, because I have that many kids to take care of. But that's not the point. We're coming really close to this anniversary, and already for the last a week, I've been asked this question quite a few times. And actually, someone from, I don't know, some huge Canadian news website even arranged an interview with me, as well as I understood with a few other Ukrainians who live in Canada, about how's it going? How is it going for Ukrainians here in Canada for that long, being stressed about the war, reading the news, and still keep up with your life? So how is it? I'm gonna tell you how is it. If you want the shortest possible version, is that it is a pure, in my case, it is a pure survivor guilt, since we dodged all the bullets. Like, on that way, we had so much stuff that could have gone really wrong, really bad, and we dodged all of those bullets. And this is pretty much why the survivor's guilt is so, I would not say high, so much present. Okay? I kind of start to think that I need a therapy to get rid of that, because everything is awesome in my life. And it's really hard to admit. I don't want to, like, I'm saying it right now, and I'm hoping really deep inside that no one's gonna hear that from my fellow Ukrainians back home or somewhere around the world, because it's that bad. Like, I feel that, I cannot be happy. I don't know. I didn't talk to a lot of Ukrainians. I talked to quite a few that are here in Ukraine, here in Canada, from Ukraine, that escaped war, as well as my family, and they kind of feel the same. But it's still too little people to assume that is every Ukrainian feel. That's how every Ukrainian feel. That's only what I can talk about right now, about myself and my family, pretty much. With exception, kids are fine. Like, I'm jealous of my kids, how easily they let go things. They're not bothered by any of that. And thank God. It's the main thing I want to say overall. Thank God that kids are going through all that so easily. Like, there are some, complications and hard times for my oldest daughter, who I guess you can say was pretty unlucky to meet her puberty and the dramatic change of her life, leaving all the friends and going through all that at once. And when all the physical stuff hits and mental stuff, and this huge change in the life, so she was kind of unlucky to experience that, but she's fine right now. She's fine now. I believe so. She's fine. But for me and my wife, it is true that this survivor guilt is pretty high, pretty strong, and you cannot admit vocally at loud that you are happy. Because we are happy. We are in a pretty good place in our life right now in terms of, all the physical stuff. We have a beautiful home. We just moved. You kind of pretty much see the difference. It is a new, beautiful home in a new area, new neighborhood. We love it here. We used to, the previous place where we lived, my wife had to drive kids to school and so on. Here, we are kind of in a perfect spot that it takes a little time for kids to get to school on the school buses. So it is more free time for my wife, who was driving usually, because I sit here and work all day pretty much. So it got better. Our living conditions got way better. It is very comfortable house. My job is just, I don't know, like the project I'm working at is just flourishing. I'm so happy with my job right now and where it's going and how awesome it is that I can work from home and everyone's happy, and the main kind of part of that team that I am working with is also in Canada and really close to us, so we can meet offline, etc. So all that regarding the job thing is all, which is a huge part of my life, is also awesome. So all that vlogging, blogging, TikToking, influencer stuff is just amazing. Like, if you're following me on TikTok, I started to get paid for certain TikToks, where at the beginning I would laugh if someone would tell me that it will become something like that. But now even that is happening. I don't know. We bought a car and like half a year ago, but I'm still happy with the fact that we can afford a car, that we got a loan, and like a banking system trusted us, even though we didn't have a lot of credit score, etc. But again, we have a car. It gives us so much freedom, and it's awesome that we have such a cool car. And on top of it all, my parents that I'm really close to, like I'm really close with my parents. I was close with my parents during my whole life, and I have to mention that because from what I see here in Canada, it's pretty much the same as it was in Ukraine. A lot of people my age, they are not in tight contact with their parents. And I'm really happy that my relationship with my parents are pretty good. My wife loves my parents, and they are coming here. They're gonna live in Canada. They're actually gonna live in the same house. They're gonna live here in this house because we have a room for them in a basement, and it's all like the basement is pretty awesome, as well as it's where I am right now. But like all those things are in the best place possible. All those things are amazing. Job, my relationship with my family and my wife, my kids, everyone's awesome. But still, the only emotion that I feel, and I probably can talk about my wife also, that we don't deserve all that. We should have been suffering in Ukraine, as well as everyone else we know. Like most of the people we know, they are still there. They have a lot of issues with electricity, with heat, with job. Everyone's depressed, pretty much. Like one of my colleagues who came to Canada at pretty much the same time as we. She just went back to Ukraine for Christmas holidays for a month to stay there, because she lives in pretty the area where there has been no military activity for pretty much since the beginning. When it's all begun, it was all over Ukraine, and then it's kind of localized to certain areas, and she's really far from that. So she took a risk and went back to see her relatives, her parents, and spend time with them. So she says, we all who stay here, we're asking like, how is it? Because we're all thinking about coming back to Ukraine at some point, at least to visit. And she's like, oh, it is so awesome. You drive the same roads, you see the same buildings, you have your old routines back, and it feels really awesome. But as soon as you start talking to anyone who stayed there during this whole time, it is just different person. Everyone is different. It is just not the same people. They are all really like they hardly smile. It is hard for them to be, uplifted. It is just depressing. And when she was talking about that, I instantly felt like, yes, that's what I have to feel. I don't know how it works. I don't know why. Like, again, I have to convince myself daily that, you're fine. Keep living. Keep thinking about, future stuff. Try to, distance yourself emotionally from what is happening in Ukraine. But almost the year has passed, and I still failed to, get back to where I was. And I just cannot think how hard it is and how hard it will be for everyone who stays there. It's just, I don't know, just wanted to share all that. Kind of like a happy message that everything is awesome with our family and with me personally. Wanted to thank you for supporting all my influence, all these videos that you watch. Again, it is kind of started to be serious, and I want to treat it seriously because it was pure fun, and I want to keep it that way, but also add a bit seriousness in terms of dedication to it. But the last thing I want to leave you with is that the war is still going on. Unfortunately, Russia still exists. Unfortunately, it is not just Putin's war. It is mostly nationwide Russian idea to destroy Ukraine and to get rid of Ukraine as a nation, as a culture, as a physical people. And if you think that things are kind of calming down, they are not. So please keep Ukraine in your prayers. Keep supporting at least someone, if you know someone from Ukraine, or you know someone who knows someone from Ukraine and you have a chance to help in any way, please do. Please continue helping Ukraine, because I know you all, pretty much the whole world is sick of these news, and every time you see the new building destroyed, you're like, oh, again. Even I think like that, and I blame myself, trust me, the hardest, that I don't even feel at this point anything about all these lives being taken, and it is stupid. But I do want to ask you all to keep rooting for Ukraine and keep standing with Ukraine. Thank you very much.